Welcome to another episode of DreamSpire TV. I wanted to have this show and have an all-men's panel, but I have the privilege of knowing some pretty amazing men that are making a difference. I am so super excited about my guest today. We have Max Rodriguez, the founder of the Harlem Book Fair. The Harlem Book Fair is the biggest and the oldest African-American book fair. It is coming up soon, and he's going to tell us all about that. We have Donta, who is the founder of VReel. Now, if you talk to me more than 5 minutes, you know I am a VReel evangelist. It is the next wave of how to show your business to the world. And we have Pastor Dwight, who is not only sharing the gospel, but he has a whole platform of speakers to share good news, not only good news, but coaching and a lot of other things. How is everyone today?
Fantastic.
Very good.
Awesome.
Doing great. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
I am so excited about this panel today and the opportunity to have you guys be a part of this. And thank each and every one of you, because I know each and every one of you schedules are like super busy. I know you have a lot going on, so that you've taken the time to chat with me and chat with us here on DreamSpire TV under our eInspire brand. I am grateful for that. So I want to just go on a round robin, and you can keep your answers to about 2 minutes. I want to go from the beginning, because a lot of times we see people where they are, but we don't understand the origins or what drives them. So I'm going to start with you, Max. What is your beginning story? What did you wake up one morning and just say, I'm going to put on the biggest Black book fair in the nation?
The biggest, blackest book fair in the nation. I've always been a reader, right? This is the 26th year of the Harlem Book Fair. 28 years ago, I founded QBR, the Black Book Review. I've always been a reader. I used to read the New York Times Book Review, the New York Review of Books, the Paris Review. And I would always turn to the table of contents to see what books look like me. More time than not, I wouldn't find any at all. When I moved the business, the publication from downtown Manhattan and Soho up to Harlem, I saw that there was no event that was celebrating the Harlem Renaissance, the writers, our stories. So I began the Harlem Book Fair. This will be our 26th year. Yeah, and we're excited about that. And I guess my idea is uncovering the needs that we didn't, as a community, know that we had. So I began a Black Book Review publication, and then I began a book festival, because, truly in a book festival, in a book, it's our lives, our words, and our stories. And we've been growing ever since. That's my Genesis story.
26 years. I'm just going to go in order. I see you on stage. Pastor Dwight, tell us about your beginning story.
Yeah, so, excuse me. Thank you again for having us. Glad to be here. The short version of it is I've been in church and ministry and loved it. I love serving. I love what the church offers, even with, some of the public ridicule it gets. But I always felt like there was more, and I felt like there was a missing evangelism space. And I found that to be the marketplace, that many churches and ministries focus on the less fortunate and those who do not have. And I think we should, but I also think that there are a large number of people in corporate spaces, on campuses, that aren't reached with the gospel because they're they appear to have everything together because of their finances or because of the businesses they own or because of the status and positions they have. And so I really felt that there was a need to raise up what I call kingdompreneurs, people who could radically impact marketplace, corporations, and campuses so that we could increase income and impact lives in that space. And then, of course, that allows us to go back and provide low to no cost ministry. So I started training with John Maxwell, done some work with Sam Chan, most recently with Les Brown and Eric Thomas, Jeremy Anderson. And I found that there were really already people in that space doing ministry and marketplace. And so now I train niche coaches and speakers to go into corporations and on the campuses, starting businesses, launching coaching and speaking businesses so that they can take that message and use those gifts to actually impact this other demographic. That's kind of the genesis of it for me.
I love it. And we have to take the gospel, the good news, outside of those four walls. Love
Absolutely.
what you're doing. Donta Bell with VReel. Okay, that I just realized that kind of rhymes.
Renata and DreamSpire TV, thank you for the opportunity to participate with these phenomenal men. VReel. So my name is Donta Bell. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been inventing for over 30 years, and my drive is generational wealth for the family and for other families. Because if you don't have ownership, you have no respect. So I've been driving, technology initiatives and inventions, and this one came together with my three young men, Javon, Jaden, and Jared. And I said, guys, let's take all the best of the best, all of the inventions, and let's put together what we feel can change the world. And we invented VReel, and we incorporated VReel 2021. It's the first of its kind. It's a visual language that we've invented. And with this visual language, it's a online media network that displays engaging storyboard reels. So it allows you to do storytelling across any screen. So if you're looking on a phone, tablet, TV, big screen, billboard, your VReel is going to look fantastic. And, one of the other things that, drove this is that, with the new generation of mindsets coming up, I also had to come up with something that these younger generations would take seriously and be of interest in, and then driving that forward to the future endeavor. So that is the beginning and start point for VReel.
Awesome. And like I said, I am a VReel evangelist, so I definitely love the technology and what you're doing. As Black men in business, what are the challenges that you have faced? How am I gonna put this? So we know you're facing challenges now. Have those challenges changed over the years? Or are they still the challenges, the same challenges? We'll start with Pastor Dwight on this one.
I think the challenges are the same. I mean, on the one hand, I want to think that we have made progress and things have shifted. And on the other hand, I would say that, being Black, being men, always kind of carries some weight and some challenge. We're often fighting from behind. And when we achieve, they move the goal line. And so we have to work a little bit harder, do a little bit more. Now, what I would say, though, is that even though the challenges still exist, I think as a group, with all the other men that I know who are working in entrepreneurship spaces, that we have been able to overcome them, that they haven't been so huge that they've stopped us from success. We're here now with, Max and Donta. They've been successful in their fields. And I've been able to, launch coaches and speakers, help people launch businesses. And so while there may be challenges that don't change, I would also say our success has been consistent as well.
So you say coaches, I want people to get the picture. We're not talking about 2 or 3 people. Tell us, how many coaches have you been able to launch?
Yeah, so currently right now we're a little over 250 coaches, and they do life coaching in different niche. And so some are finance, some are relationship, some are transition coaches, some of them may be exec coaches, some of them are. I have a couple of Bitcoin coaches. My newest coach is he's doing accounting, but he's actually coaching accountants on how to launch accounting businesses. And so we have some entrepreneur coaches. And so my goal is to take your passion and turn that into a profitable coaching course, coaching program, and speaking platform. Because information, while it may be very, very easy to access, is not always vetted. And so, what you've experienced, your story, how you arrived there is still something that's really, really needed. And people need to hear it, want to hear it, and will pay for it. And then simultaneously, we're able to raise up a whole group of coaches and speakers who change the lives of others. And so I thank you for that. So we're not talking about sports coaches. We are talking about business coaches and life coaches. And many of them we steer into some type of corporate and or campus college space because those are the spaces that we've seen make the biggest impact.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay.
That what you're doing is making a big impact and has a wide footprint to handle and to mentor and to train over 250 coaches. Donta, you next. What are the challenges then and now, and are they different?
Ooh, well, it's very challenging. As a Black-owned company, Black-funded company, Black intellectual property powered company, it still seems to be a challenge for people to realize or believe what you've done. So, VReel has been self-funded. And what that means is that my family has funded all the development efforts, all of the intellectual property, all the trademarks, patent pendings, and everything else, lawyers and everything associated. And in addition to that, it is totally Black coded. So we did not outsource to different countries to get development done. It's totally been done by Black. So because we have invented the next big thing, sometimes it's difficult for people to comprehend that. So that's been one of the biggest challenges. But when they see it, it speaks for itself. We don't have to say too much. And they're like, how do I get started? So but the challenge is very difficult from a funding perspective because we get requests to invest $1 million into VReel. How do I become a partner in VReel? But people don't realize that when you take funding, you also can tend to sell your soul without knowing you did it. Because when you get money, people are going to try to put people on your board. People are going to try to associate different partners and initiatives under their realm. And then with the money part, I always tell everybody, once you take the funding, their goal is to exit strategy. That means our mission, our culture to build generational wealth usually isn't the goal of the investor because they're trying to do an exit strategy and make money. So it's a little challenging.
And with VReel, I know you're doing, I don't know how much you could talk about or what you can't, but just name some of the platforms that are on VReel.
Oh, yeah. So we're powering the United States Space Force. We're powering the country of Ghana's president's office. We're powering Forbes, a magazine. We're powering the United States Black Chambers. We are powering Waste Management, which is a Fortune 200 company. We're powering Hubble, so we're powering some major brands out there with the technology, and they love it. And we're also introducing our AI assistant on Monday. That's going to be phenomenal. Where you thought the output was great, now to build it is going to you can build it in seconds.
I love it. And I just wanted everyone to share, because you guys are all in your own way so humble about what you're doing. But I want our listening audience to know that the people you see on this panel are literally changing the world. Max, I know that you probably could speak a long time on this topic, but tell us, what now and then, what are the challenges, and have they changed?
So I want to acknowledge Donta and Dwight for their work and their vision. Really good to hear. Thank you both. My approach is a little different. I'm in books, right? And one thing that I realize is that in my next lifetime, if I love books, I'll just become a librarian, because there's a big difference between loving books and running a business around books. And so my thinking is that I don't think there are distinctions, there are nuances. I don't know that there's a difference between black business and white business. And what I mean by that is that you're not in business until you can make payroll every week. You see, that's being in business, right? And all of the challenges that Donta and Dwight have spoken about, they all fall within that sort of that umbrella, that silo, the marketing, the outreach. So it's just learn how to do business. And everyone who is in business has to meet those measures. You have to be properly registered. You have to file your taxes. You have to pay your employees. You have to, whatever it is that's required of you to sustain your INC status or your LLC status, make sure that that's done. Know how to run a business, and learn that while you do your passion, right? Your passion is your play box, right? But the play box is a legal space that has to meet the standards of whatever being a business requires. So that's what I'd have to say about that. And it's challenging, and it's work. And every entrepreneur is working two jobs at the same time. They're working their vision and they're working the business, both at the same time. Growing both, sustaining the other. It's challenging, but as you can hear from the brothers here, it's rewarding,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Bernardo, I don't think I listed my challenge. When he said that, it made me think. I think I did mention that we've all been able to overcome them. The biggest challenge in my space is having people believe that they deserve to have business and not just be employees.
That's big, Dwight.
That's when you said that, when you moved from books to working with books, it's helping people believe that by being an employee, that is not a problem. That's not a bad thing. But there is entrepreneurship in you, and you do deserve to have it. You don't have to, settle for anything less if you don't want to. That's probably the biggest challenge I think we work with. Yeah. Thank you for saying that, man.
Yeah, thank you, Dwight. Here's, I think, the biggest thing that I'm hearing is that we can establish businesses because this is passion work for us. But what happens when your business becomes bigger and you can't meet the demand?
Right.
When you need more people, when you need more resources, when you need more allocations. Going back to Donta's point, at that point, we as entrepreneurs have to decide, are we going to be a small business? Continue being a small business, or are we going to expand the business? I say this because as we build out the book fair, I'm being asked by sponsors for a seat on the advisory board. And you're right, Donta. You're right. No one is paying money to save lives. Okay, that's not why they're not into it. They're not in it but to save lives. Okay, they're in it for a return. And every time you accept a dollar, you have to know as an entrepreneur that there's an exit strategy that someone's thinking about that is not, it's not part of your vision.
Sure.
As entrepreneurs, what do we do then? Well, we need a contingency plan. So what is your exit strategy for their exit strategy,
Right.
and how do you leverage that intention should it come up into your next vision? And how do you leave your footprint on that piece of you that you've created that you are now releasing in a larger way into the world? You see, because you can have it all. You can't have it all at the same time, perhaps, but you can have it all. And sometimes it's piece by piece. So Donta is doing his VReel. At some point, he will get investors that will come to him and say, we really like what you're doing. He's going to have a decision to make, and his answer is going to have to be, okay, how do I keep my mission, my spirit, the intention of this inside this while I accept the next step for my vision, whatever it might be?
Can I tell you how I did it?
Yeah, go.
To answer your question, I've had to answer that question, and I did. So what we've done at VReel is we're building businesses on top of our platform now, on top of our technology. So for example, we're launching different verticals. We're launching ice cream reels. It's an ice cream marketplace for frozen desserts and ice cream that we're able to put deals through. So all you got to do is, become a member. You go to the participating location, you show the QR code, they scan your QR code, they redeem the QR code, the deal, and you get whatever that deal offer is. And we have it for, we call them ice cream reels. We have MLS reels for real estate listings. We have menu reels for restaurant menus. We have construction reels for the construction industry, roofers, electricians, plumbers. And those are all businesses that can run off of the VReel platform. And those we are taking investment on. So we used our own invention to build businesses on top of that, and they're all marketplaces. And when you see a VReel marketplace, it's a visually compelling marketplace that just drives. It's really awesome.
Yeah. So from the business level, what I'm hearing is you have access to my board, to my advisory board, but I keep the board of directors.
That's right.
You see. So you want access to all of these other initiatives? By all means.
By all means.
You want access to the core company? That's not available, but you do have access to everything else.
Absolutely. And they're so excited about the opportunities because the way that's driven, I don't know if you have time to show a few VReels, but yeah, they look really amazing.
Yeah. And at some point, Donta, somebody's going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to say though, but I mean, being in that space is its own compliment, right? Because they say every business you build should be built to be sold. Now, whether you sell it or not, or whether you should sell it or not, it should be designed in such a way where somebody wants to buy it and you're able to hand it off so that it could be bought. And so that's, it's a compliment in and of itself that somebody wants to take over your board. They want to come in and, buy you out. Like that, I think is a compliment. And I'll say this for those who may be listening and saying, hey, I don't have a business yet that's being bought out by other people, but you're scaling and you're trying to figure out how to scale. Max, one of the things you said was really interesting because I just had this conversation with a client who's grown and outgrown his particular space. He wants to scale, but he doesn't want to hand it to anyone. And I'm saying that's where the coaching comes in, right? That you want to have coached or mentored someone that can duplicate you, has your passion, something similar to your skill set, because at some point you're going to need somebody other than you to scale your business or to move your business out. So Donta, even in your case, you have multiple business platforms, but somebody else is going to have to run the ice cream version. Somebody else has to run the MLS version at some point. So it's getting to this place where you can trust someone else with your vision, or you can trust somebody else with the skills, and they may not do it the way you do it. I remember when we started scaling, I had more coaches than I could handle. It was kind of like, now what do I do? I didn't want to assign them to anyone else because I didn't know if they'd be good enough, as if I was good, and that's not really true. I'm not perfect, and so it's that very thin line between like release and hold on, where you either stunt your growth or you start your growth. I think that place is a really difficult place, but a great place to be in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to step in. I love the dialogue. I absolutely love the dialogue. And as Black businesses, we want to grow, we want to scale those businesses. Where does legacy come in? Where does making sure that we're able to hand off that generational wealth? What does that look like in passion? I love you said passion, but I think there's a place even beyond passion. And this is where I like to live, and that's in purpose. And a lot of times the two are intertwined, but I think a purpose and a clear plan is important as well. So where do you see your business? This is a good segue. Where do you see your business in 20 years? I'm not going to say 5, in 20 years.
Can
Anybody
I
wants to jump in?
Yeah, I like to. First, I want to come back to what Dwight said, to what both Dwight and Donta said, and that is about, you Dwight, you may not be at the point, or an entrepreneur may not be at the point where they're ready to be scaled up to the point where somebody wants to buy their business. I remember someone said to me when I first started out, she said, Max, the only thing that you need to do are 2 things. 1, keep the door open, and 2, keep a phone line, keep it. That was before mobile, right? If we can believe it, right? we were still on landlines, right? And that was only 26 years ago. The keep the door open and keep a landline, and keep a phone line on. That's all you need to do. You build from there. So I'm sharing that with any of you, aspiring entrepreneurs, that you start with baby steps. You start by making sure the door is open and making sure that, you paid your phone bill. Okay. That's it. And then in terms of legacy, I guess I take a wider view. I'm not attached, Renata, to what that needs to look like. Going back to Donta's point about, next generational wealth, I'm not attached to what how I get to that generational wealth. So the book fair will evolve, and it will be what it is. And if there's an opportunity to grow it, I'll look at that and look at how I leverage what I get from that out into the next iteration or the next expression of generational wealth. It doesn't have to be the book fair. My son or my daughter or my niece or my nephew don't have to run the Harlem Book Fair, but they certainly have to benefit from what I've created through the Harlem Book Fair. So I'm not necessarily attached to a thing as I am to the concept of generational wealth. I don't know what the source of my generational wealth will be 10 years from now. I don't know that yet. But nor did Donta know when he first started that he would be servicing, did you say NASA?
United States Space Force.
United States Space Force. He didn't know that then. So you see, we have to allow, in order to grow, we have to release. We know that.
That's good. I would say the same. I didn't think about it like that, Max, but that's probably a great way to put it. I think for me, when I thought legacy, I thought of it 2 ways. One, I started the business with legacy in mind, right? How will this impact my family while I'm doing it? Like, how much time is it going to take away from them while developing it? How much time am I away from them while working it? But then also, when this is done and I'm ready to step off the scene, is it something that my children can do, or someone that's close to me, or someone I've been able to mentor or coach? So in that way, I would love to leave it as legacy for someone that's close. If I can't get it to someone's close, then I would love to keep it in the culture, right? And if I can't keep it in the culture, then we'll see how it evolves. But I think similar to Max, I'm not necessarily concerned about passing this business on as much as I am making sure that whenever it's passed on, our family still benefits in some residual way, positioned to at least understand wealth development. They may not do this, but I want them to think about how they can build wealth where they are with what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my answer to that, thank you, Dwight and Max, for those great perspectives. Um, this one is special. VReel is a special invention because it was a collaboration with all my three sons, and it was to change the world. So I think 20 years from now, VReel is going to be the new Comcast because it's going to be the infrastructure that is used to view anything on the internet. So just like a Comcast, you have various channels and programs and networks that are running on Comcast because Comcast is the backbone. And that's where I see VReel. So 20 years from now, Max, all those books behind you, I see each one of those books being a movie running on VReel. Because with AI can turn any one of those books into a movie and give it new life, a new visual experience, like unseen before, using a VReel to deliver or distribute that information across throughout the world. And to Dwight's point, all these businesses need a coach. And so 20 years from now, I see the coaches or educators educating those businesses to thrive on VReel. Because with AI nowadays, it's becoming so intelligent and you can turn anything into visual content with either text. You can take a picture and turn it into a movie because and this is now, I'm going to say 5 years from now, there's no telling what they're going to be doing, especially 20 years from now. But VReel, though, is the distributor. So I see VReel being around for a long time. I see it being strategic, and I see it being that thing that everyone says, wow, this is one of the greatest inventions ever.
It's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing.
Yes.
You know, I need both of your brothers on my advisory board.
And that's one of my missions and what we do at DreamSpire TV and Black R Street. I get a chance to know so many amazing people in what I do, whether it's on the entertainment side, interviewing, everyone from Dr. Knowles, Beyonce's father, to Tamla Mann in the gospel and so many others. And then on the business side, I get to know just titans of businesses that are doing amazing things. And not only business to business, but I get a chance to know platforms to platforms. And my goal is to bring people together. We will be having absolutely more of these conversations and more of these panels, because what you have shared here, if we would add up all the wisdom this sitting here on this stage, it's a blueprint for people to go forward. So we're going to do some last comments. If you had anything that you wanted to share, a message to upcoming, and I'm in a Black space, unapologetically a Black space, what would you tell to the next generation of Black entrepreneurs? What are, let's keep it real succinct, 3 things that you need them to know? Dante, you're in my number 1 spot right now, so we'll start with you.
3 things. Tell the truth, right? Be true to you and who you're around, because your brand and your name means everything. Without that, I don't care what you do, it's always going to be questioned, right? Tell the truth. Respect yourself, because the decisions you make have a lasting impact. So respect yourself so that others can respect you. If you don't have respect, it's not going but so far either. And finally, I want to say the passion, right? I think Max and Dwight talked about the passion. It's not about the money. It's not about the fame. It's about the passion. If you have a passion and you feel you getting up, I get up at 4 a.m. I don't feel like I'm working at all. I'm on a mission. So if you have that kind of passion in your heart for what you're doing, the money will drive itself. But that passion is going to live for a long time. And you're going to see the output of that passion is going to be real. So those are my 3 things.
Awesome. Pastor Dwight.
Yeah. So my first would be dream big and plan bigger. Like don't downplay yourself or don't be stifled by your environment. If you have big dreams, go after them. That'll be my number one. Number two, don't consider falling as failure. Right? Be patient and consistent. Just because it's not working yet, you don't see the results yet, doesn't mean you're not building towards something great. And so keep going forward. And then third, with some bias, but honesty, find a mentor or a coach. Like, you don't have to do this by yourself. There's someone in your industry that's looking for someone to pour into, and it might be you. Go after whoever that big name is, or whoever the person who's found success in the spaces or the vocations that you're trying to get in, and connect with them, because you go further connected than you will alone.
I love it.
Now, Dwight, that was not fair. You read my notes. I'm not happy about that. Okay. Okay. All right. So I don't know if I can come up with three, because those were precious. Those were precious. One is a personal mantra, right? And I think that it has good use here. One is, remember that everything we say. This ties into what Dwight and Donta have said. Remember that everything you say and everything you do is a prayer. And prayers are answered in kind. So operate from that space, and life will wrap itself around you. That's just what God is, frankly. The other is find your tribe, right? Just again, in your asking, when you start your day, always say to yourself, say aloud, help me find my tribe. Those people who align with you and your vision for community and the world, right? It makes your work, your play easier. And then the other is, as we've talked about in that legacy conversation, expand that legacy, into the world. Share the wealth. Make sure that you do more than cross the river and stay over here. Once you cross the river safely, get back in the water, bring some people over with you back to the other side.
Wow. I love it all. This has been an amazing conversation. The wisdom that all of you have shared, I can't wait to get this out, because people need to hear and people need to see that you can impact the world. If you are true to the vision and the purpose and the passion inside of you, you can literally change the world. And I think, especially in the day that we're living in, we need to know that people are still out there making a difference, changing the world, and having a path set toward the future. Thank you guys for sharing today. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast. Before you leave, I am going to add it in when we do all our little editing magic, but tell people how they can reach you. We'll start with Max.
You can visit us at harlembookfair.com, or just at Harlem Book Fair on the net. You'll find us. I want to say one thing quickly, and that Donta and Dwight, I'm very serious about that. I will be finding you. I want to talk to you more, both of you. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Absolutely.
Pastor Dwight, where can people reach you?
Yes, you can find me at dwightriddick.com. That is my speaking website, and or CMIleadershipcoach.com. That's where our coaching and speaking academy exists. Our socials are at DS Riddick and the number 2. You'll find me there, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. And hopefully VReel soon, Donta.
Absolutely. VReel.page, as in Victor, R's and Ralph, E's and Edward, L's and Larry, .page, VReel.page.
Well, it's been an awesome conversation today. And again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit and chat with us and share your wealth of knowledge. And I'm glad for these conversations. And we have to revisit them. We have to really keep having these kind of conversations, because people need to know that our future and our presence is in good hands. Again, my name is Renata Brown of DreamSpire TV, Inspire Magazine, and our newest baby, Black R Street. We've had an amazing conversation. That's my word for the day, amazing, because it really, truly has been. Join our next episode. You can catch us in a number of different places. You can catch us on DreamSpire TV on your Roku channel. So this interview will be played in all places that you can view, including our Roku channel. Everyone have an amazing day.